The detention block of the Galactic Enforcement Station hummed with the usual sounds of despair. Naz pressed herself against the cold metal wall of her cell, her silver-scaled skin reflecting the harsh blue light that never dimmed. Her large amber eyes darted nervously toward the entrance whenever footsteps echoed through the corridor. 3 solar cycles had passed since her capture, and still no punishment had come. On her homeworld of Kelthera, failure meant immediate retribution. The Keltharian Empire ruled through fear, and she had committed the ultimate transgression, allowing a human vessel to escape her patrol sector. The cargo ship had been carrying medical supplies to a quarantined colony, but orders were orders. She should have destroyed it without question. Instead, she had hesitated. The sound of approaching boots made her heart race. 2 guards flanked a figure she had only heard whispered about in fearful tones, a human enforcement officer. Naz had never seen one of the legendary creatures up close. The stories painted them as ruthless warriors, beings who had somehow earned respect among the galaxy's apex predators through sheer brutality. The cell door hissed open and the human stepped inside. Naz's breath caught in her throat. He was smaller than she had expected, perhaps average height by Keltharian standards, with dark hair and kind brown eyes that seemed oddly familiar. The name tag on his uniform read, Officer R. Hassan. "Leave us," the human said to the guards, his voice surprisingly gentle. Naz pressed herself further into the corner, her scaled hands trembling. "I await your judgment, human," she whispered in Standard Galactic, her voice barely audible. "I failed in my duty. I deserve whatever punishment you see fit." The human, Raza, according to his identification, studied her for a long moment. Then, to her complete bewilderment, he sat down on the floor across from her, making himself smaller, less threatening. "What's your name?" he asked softly. The question caught her off guard. No interrogator had ever asked her name. "And Naz, designation 7749 Alpha. Just Naz is fine?" He smiled, and the expression transformed his entire face. "Can you tell me what happened out there, Naz?" "In your own words?" She stared at him, searching for the trap. Surely this was some elaborate form of psychological torture. And I let the human vessel escape. I had a clear shot, but I hesitated. The Empire considers this treason. Why did you hesitate? The question hung in the air like a physical thing. No one had ever asked her why before. Actions were either correct or incorrect, successful or failures. The reasoning behind them was irrelevant. "The ship," she began hesitantly. "It was carrying medical supplies. Children's medicine. I could see their manifest when I ran the scan." Her voice grew stronger as she continued. "My sister. She died when I was young. The medicine that could have saved her was delayed by bureaucratic procedures. When I saw that cargo manifest..." Her voice broke, and she expected the human to show disgust at her weakness. Instead, Raza leaned forward slightly, his expression filled with something she had never seen directed at her before. Understanding. "You did the right thing," he said simply. Naz's world tilted. "What?" "Those children needed that medicine. You saved lives by letting that ship through." He paused, studying her face. "The Galactic Council has been watching the Keltharian patrol sectors for months. We've been looking for someone like you." "Someone like me?" She could barely form the words. "Someone with a conscience. Someone who understands that following orders blindly isn't always the same as doing what's right." Raza reached into his jacket, and Naz instinctively flinched, expecting a weapon. Instead, he pulled out a small device and set it on the floor between them. "This is a recording of the colony governor thanking the Galactic Council for the medical supplies. 43 children recovered completely because of what you did." Naz stared at the device as if it were some alien artifact. But I failed my mission. You succeeded at something much more important." Raza's voice carried a weight that spoke of experience, of battles fought not just with weapons but with conscience. "The human delegation has been authorized to offer certain Keltharian military personnel a chance to join our peacekeeping forces. We need people who understand that true strength comes from protecting those who can't protect themselves." The cell felt suddenly too small to contain the magnitude of what he was suggesting. "You want me to defect?" "We want you to come home," Raza said, and something in his tone suggested he understood exactly what that word meant to someone who had never truly had one. For the first time in 3 days, Naz felt something other than fear. She looked at this human, this being her people had painted as a monster, and saw only kindness. When she didn't immediately respond, he did something that would have been unthinkable in Keltharian culture. He extended his hand toward her, palm up, in a gesture of offering rather than dominance. The choice is yours, Naz. No one will force you. But if you're willing to fight for something better than blind obedience, we could use someone like you. Naz looked at his outstretched hand for a long moment. In Keltharian society, unexpected physical contact was always violent, always painful. But something about Raza's patient expression told her this would be different. Slowly, trembling, she reached out and placed her scaled hand in his human one. His touch was warm, gentle. Everything she had never known she was missing. For the first time in her life, physical contact brought comfort instead of pain. The simple gesture said more than 1,000 words. That she was valued, that she mattered, that her choice to show mercy had been seen and appreciated. "Welcome to the real fight, Naz," Raza said softly, his hand steady and reassuring around hers. The fight for a galaxy where compassion matters more than blind compliance. As they sat there in that sterile detention cell, Naz realized that sometimes the greatest punishments were the ones that never came, and the gentlest touches could change everything.